Hello, hello. Welcome back. It's been some time. AngryRagtimer here. You there. And welcome back to our modded Railroader live stream. It's been a couple of weeks. I've been very, very busy with real life stuff. We'll talk about that here in a moment or two. Thank you for joining. It would mean a lot if you're watching to just hit the thumbs up button to like the stream on YouTube. If you're watching there, it'll help me out significantly with the YouTube algorithm. So consider doing that and appreciate that. Looks like we have a few of the regulars here already. Barrett Howell saying hello. Sir Schmuck, hello. AJ Mercer, hello. Build a Funky saying happy Monday. Yes, is indeed a Monday. Thorn 43210, greetings everyone. Celebrating 17 months of channel membership, saying so many months. That's a lot of months. Pro Train, hello. Me Metal Mick, what's up? We back, Suspandin. And JSJ saying what up? Well, what up to you, JSJ? It's good to have you all here. We'll see who else joins us. Right now, we'll see if General or Garion or some of the others join us later on. Right now, you got just me, though. So we'll see. But last time we were on here, we were working on our little logging railroad, and a couple of things have updated, a couple of things have changed. Let's take a quick look. Down here at Silva Paperboard, nothing's really changed. We have a few things that we could switch out, but really don't need to at the moment, because things are kind of cranking away doing its thing. If we head up to the interchange, though, we have a new interchange that we're trying out. This is one that I just found on Nexus before we got started tonight. I think it's Copper's Silva interchange mod. And then there was an update to have a little engine facility here with water, coaling tower, that sort of thing. So that was... we're going to try that out, see how that goes. In-game right now, it is something like... Yeah, it's like 11 a.m., so we got plenty of time before the next interchange, but at least we have that now. As we proceed west, we have a couple of cars over here at our intermodal terminal, which seems silly to talk about, but we do indeed have cars that are getting either loaded or unloaded that'll be going back to the interchange here. So we'll try that eventually. So we got a few things we could switch out. Heading further west, not much going on in Dillsboro. So, nothing really here. We do need to eventually build up our Dillsboro yard a little bit. But right now, it's just sitting. JSJ saying, I thought it was Tuesday. Well, I hate to break it to you, man. It is Monday. Nothing really going on until we get back to Whittier. And over in Whittier, we've got some logging that we need to do. We've got one or two cars need to get sorted. We have a big honking engine, the Jarl. We've got a rock. We've got our logging equipment. Got a few cars for the sawmill that need to go. We've got all these that we need to take back up the hill, so I'll be doing some logging primarily to get started. Got our little bobber caboose, the Love Shack. And then we're trying to expand over to Bryson. So we'll hopefully be using today as a kind of clean up, get everything organized, reset, that sort of thing. So that's going to be the plan. And since this is a logging railroad, we should probably start with some logging. So we're going to grab our Shay. Old number one here. And get rolling. So let's hop on in, shall we? And we'll get started with doing some switching and heading up the mountain. Alrighty. Yep, today is Garfield's least favorite day. That is correct, Bandon. How did I originally discover Sam? Sam reached out to me via Discord, I believe, and we've just been talking and gotten friendly ever since. Am I ready for 4014? Yes, I'm going to be going to see the big boy in just a few days here. So that's going to be a fun time. I'll be hanging out with Heis as part of his crew, and a few other people that you might recognize from either my channel or Heis's channel, so that'll be fun. I'll also add, as we get started here, in about probably an hour, closer to 7 o'clock, when we have a few more people here, I do have a update video on what's going on with the Garden Railroad that I just filmed for y'all earlier today, so we'll take a look at that a little later. But lots to update, so let's get hooked up to these cars first, though, and then we'll get back to this. I will also add, for those who've been wondering, when's the Shay coming out? If you haven't noticed yet, the Shay is out on Nexus Mods. Luna has updated them there, as well as the Climax. So if you've been waiting to play with these mods and you haven't already found out, the Shay is out. The Climax is out. We'll see what happens down the line with other engines. There's also a geared mod for better geared sounds. Lots of cool stuff. So, all right, let's get tacked on here. I like the near geared sounds. It does make it fun. All right, let's get that recharging. Let's see. I think it just makes sense that we should probably just escalate time by a little bit. We'll just do that here. Just to get these log cars situated. We ain't doing much otherwise. Okay. All right. I just wanted to haul all these at once, so let's get going there. Odd Redneck, hello, good to see you again. Saying, I just bought Silva on my save. I've been doing cold drags out of Robinson using the Jarl. I'm struggling double heading with 2 Jarls moving 4,000 tons. My guy, why do you do this to yourself? That just sounds like pain. That just sounds like so much pain. And then Mina Mono Mike will be at Steamtown seeing 4014 soon. Awesome. As I said, I'm lucky that I got an invite from Heis's crew, so I'll be hanging out with them for a few days, so it should be fun. Pancakes will be there, C. Jane, Boo Mario, Scotty, Rudy, a few other people, so should be, as they say in the old country, muy fun. Yeah. But as I said, I've been busy as heck the last couple of weeks. And there's a reason for that. It's because the real life stuff has taken priority to try to get a few things done. So that's a mix of everything from running trains with the broad top, trying to have a life outside of YouTube as well. So I actually kept busy with, of all things, band practice. I'm in a rock band now. So we have a gig next week. So for any of you who are near the Broad Top and want to hear Angry perform on the piano, I'm actually playing as part of the Broad Top Brews Train, which is occurring on Saturday the 20th. You can take the train out to Colgate Grove. It's a 21 and up event. You get out there, there's catered meal. The band will be playing stuff from REO Speedwagon, Jackson Brown, Beatles, Billy Joel, a whole bunch of other stuff. So come out, and of course there's alcohol. Booze and trades, they always mix well. So that's where I'll be. But I've been practicing for that and trying to get that. I also was at a live Steam meetup this past week where I was running, I got invited kind of last minute to go down to Southern Virginia to a friend's home and run trains on their backyard layout, which is themed to 7/8 scale. So that was a lot of fun. Got to meet a couple of new people, bond with some new people, and run some trains. So that was fun. When General hops on, I'm sure we'll talk more about it. But that was muy goodo. So, doing that. And even after that, just trying to work on the Garden Railroad. And as I said, I've got a 15-minute update video that I recorded before we got on here that will be something quite hopefully nice for you all to see. Isn't that right, Sam?
Yes.
Yes. And also, hello, Sam. Sam, apparently I just saw your message that said, I'm lurking but not talking, so...
Before you click off of your message, I have something to show you.
Uh-oh.
Oh, yes. I want a live reaction, but, don't blow it out of the water yet.
I won't.
Don't worry. Don't worry. It's nothing to do with the MOW output.
Woo! That,
Oh, yeah, baby. It's time.
Oh, baby. That's exciting.
Yes, it did. Anyway, Garden Railroad stuff.
Yes.
I made a critical error in my judgment, so there will be no Garden Railroad for the foreseeable future.
Uh-oh. Hopefully a good critical judgment and not a terrible critical judgment, but...
No, I just decided to model I'm not plugging the EF and A, but do it for real. Because I started to think about it, and I was like, 2 of our engines exist in HO scale, and I was like, oh wait, 3 of them, no, 4 of them, no, 5 of them exist in HO scale. Huh. It wouldn't be much of a stretch if we just, put some custom decals on stuff, a little layout, and then that spiraled into, well, I don't know, how the hell do we, how do we get the 280? And I was like, oh, well, that's easy. You just cut the boiler off a Bachmann Spectrum engine and 3D print a new shell, because someone was either smart enough or dumb enough to tell me in the middle of that conversation that you could just print a new shell and drop it on top of the frame and send it. Yeah, so it's like, oh, it's got the right valve gear. The driving wheels aren't too far off, Get in there and do it, and all of a sudden it became an episode of everybody sent me eBay links, and I was like, oh, this is a lot more doable than I thought. So,
see, it's those people with the eBay links that you have to watch out for, because then decisions are made, or spontaneous things happen, and then suddenly you're like, well, this happened.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'll tell you this, because this isn't in the update video. I kind of want to leave a little bit of suspense on that, but not a lot. So this past weekend, I was down in just south of Roanoke, down in N&W country, and was at a person's backyard railroad that models in 7/8. And that is like, I think, main 2-footers on G-gauge track. So it's big stuff that they're running. And so I was running my little dinky engine, and I casually mentioned to someone of, well, I would really love to have like a big Bachmann, or not Bachmann, a big AccuCraft K, like one of the 27s, 28s, that sort of thing. And someone then reached out and then sent me like an anonymous email of like, hey, I know someone up in Boston that has an AccuCraft K that's live steam and butane that they might want to sell. Here's his information, have fun. And he sent me some photos. It's custom weathered. It's the number I would want. It's 463, which is the one I've seen at the Cumbres and Toltec and have a couple of photos with. But the price is high. So I said I can't justify it right now. The dude just emailed me back saying the price is now negotiable. Oh boy.
In other words, I'm old, and nobody has the money to buy this right now, so I'll lower my price.
Basically, I hate to make it sound like a sob story, but the guy is like 80 years old. He's had a couple of heart attacks. He's realizing he's at the point of, if I don't sell this to get some money to help pay for some medical expenses, if I croak, this engine will probably be either junked or, thrown out or something. So I want it to go to someone who will actually appreciate it. And I told him that my main railroad is kind of a mixture of Rio Grande 4th Division, Rio Grande Southern, and White Pass. And he's like, well, I could throw in a couple of freight cars and stuff, or I can lower the price. I'm like, oh my god, no. This is bad. This is bad.
2 notes. 1, now I feel like an asshole. 2, yeah, this is bad. This is very bad. This is bad. You are about to have a not great time.
Well, here's the thing. I've got other expenses I need to take care of in the meanwhile. I'm still waiting on my replacement coal-fired engine to come in, which hopefully is getting physically built in the plant this week, and then I should probably have it next week, from what the AccuCraft guy said last week. But the other problem is I would need to go to Boston to pick up this engine, because he's not going to ship it.
Well, I guess I guess they won't be shipping down from Boston.
Yeah. So, I think I'm safe. The other thing that may or may not help this is the owner of the trade department, which is one of those live steam companies. I've talked about him before. His name's Jay. He told me, and I can say this because it's kind of like an open secret, of apparently AccuCraft is considering another run of the K27s at some point in the future, and it's going to have a lot more details when they do it, and they're going to have variants for both coal firing and butane and electric when they do, but there's no timeline on it. So
what are they doing? Just feeling out interest?
I basically told him, if you need a deposit or something to show I'm serious about this, I could cut, your usual $300 deposit and give it to you today. I'm not going to hold it forever, but,
Yeah.
I want to put money down, and I also told him there's 2 other engines that AccuCraft has, one confirmed, and then the other's a soft confirm that's happening, which is the West Side Lumber Company Shays, and then Rio Grande Southern 20. Which I basically was like, I could put down deposits on them to make it work. And Odd Redneck with $25 saying, I'll help you buy more choo-choos in-game and IRL. Lol, I request a heavy mic in-game. Alright, well, once I get up to this siding here and stop Odd Redneck, we'll spawn a heavy mic in, because we actually have heavy mics that we can utilize. So, hooray, hooray, hooray.
Luna?
Yeah, some of Luna's heavy mics. Or at least there's one. So.
Yeah, we got one over on the EF&A, and I'm actually very happy with it. I'd never really, played with it a lot, and I unironically like it. It's very nice. It's a good engine.
Yeah. Well, considering this engine was supposed to... Or not the engine. This safe was supposed to be Mikado's, Shays, and Climax's. And now we have a freaking Ural and a Rock.
Well,
it's kind of like,
The Rock is
eternal.
It's one of the mods of all time. It really, I think, throughout the years, engines will come and engines will go, but the Rock will live on forever. And I genuinely believe that it is the Rock of Ages. But
That's very poetic, Sam. That is very poetic.
Can you tell I've been writing today?
Yes.
It's been a long day. I'm very tired.
Yeah. Well, I will say, Odd Redneck, as much as I would love to get this engine, the K, there are other things that are higher priority in the short term that I need to take care of. And I guess I could talk about it because you'll see it in the video. It's switches. And ZVK Studios celebrating 26 months of membership, saying, oh crap, 26 months at this mother freaking thing. Well, thank you for being a supporter for 26 months. Appreciate it. Hobo Blue Eye over on Twitch saying, Boston's got some pretty good weather this time of year. You can never have too many trains. I'm starting to feel like I do have too many trains. I actually sold one of my White Pass diesels on eBay this past month because I realized having 3 of them was probably overkill for what I am running. So I still have 2. But then I also have my White Pass steam engine and a few other things. So let me quickly get this this heavy mic before I forget, because I'm about to go monologuing again. And you'll understand why Ragtimer is Ragtimer. Okay, heavy Mikado. Let me switch over to this mode here. So the main thing that Ragtimer's working on right now in the garden, other than the fact that I'm still putting down, all sorts of dirt and other things just to try to make everything work, is switches. So, all right, let's just get this heavy Mikado, because heavy Mikado.
Mikado.
But, let's see. Yes. Or what, 15? Let's just do 15. Number plate options. Ooh, we have number plate options. Okay, that's 1. Let's see. Let's do 1. Classic Baldwin style. Pilot options. Wait, Norfolk and Western pilot. Yeah, why not? Get a little N&W here. New Zealand pilot, no. Headlight. Oh, that's ugly. That is less ugly. Okay, that'll work. But so switches. So basically, Ragtimer has realized in the past few, really like the past 2 or 3 weeks, that the switches I have on my layout, which were supposed to be the 10-foot diameter switches, are actually like 8s because of just how the turning radius is. So every time I run through them, there's a risk of derailment. The wider the switch, the easier the engines go through. We'll use that Mikado here in a little bit. But anyways, so there's a couple of pinch points on the layout. There are 2 up on my upper yard, which is just a main line and passing siding. But in order to get on the passing siding, you have to use the switches. And it derails pretty much every single time going in it. And it's not an issue of, like, there's a curve before it going in. It's just the switch is too tight and I string line almost every time. So that was a problem. The other point was actually exiting my main yard at the lower level and then the lead off from the steam up track onto the main line. So a friend of the channel, Dark Rider, who is also involved in a couple of other things, I found the chart, and basically they confirmed, like, you're an idiot. You didn't know this chart existed? That gave all the radiuses of G-gauge track manufacturers. And was like, yeah, this is how you tell what the widest switches are. And other than getting something custom made, the widest available are the LGB R5 switches. So that has a 15-foot diameter or 7.5 inch, or 7.5 foot radius to then get out of a track, which is pretty much double what I currently had. So, needless to say, 3 switches are already switched out in the layout, and 1 switch will be coming later this week that I will then be switching out. And I'll probably have to hold off for a bit because each of those switches is $150 for a freaking switch in garden scale. Don't do garden scale, folks. It's too expensive. But I've tested it, and so far, no derailments. Everything's nice and smooth. It likes it a lot better. So, yeah. I still have 4 other switches that I'll need to replace at some point, but it's at the point now of I can afford to wait on them until I have the funds to drop like $700 on switches, basically. Because holy hell, like, 10 switches is a really good electric locomotive, to put it in context. So, yeah. ZVK Studio is saying, I was trying to say other words, but YouTube won't let me. Yeah, YouTube can definitely do that. And Hobo Blue Eyes, Boston is a nice town. I've visited the outskirts of it. I've never been in downtown itself, but I'll say that with my current schedule, I have no opportunity to go to Boston anytime soon. So either I would have to have a friend of mine drive up there and get it for me, or can't do it, or I have to take off of work, like take a vacation day, and I don't have that luxury right now. But, and then Jonathan Coleman, hello. Good to have you here. Yeah, Bandit, note to self, don't do garden scale. And Odd Redneck saying, any remember Karatas? What is Karatas? But, yeah.
No idea.
No idea what that is. But, again, we're basically at the point... No, I'm not doing 7.5-inch scale.
Yeah, no, that's like the that's the natural. That's the next thing.
So I actually had I had a few people over about a week ago to see what's going on in the garden, and the people in the garden, or not, one of them models in 7.5-inch gauge, and I did not realize that he had like 7 engines, with 2 of them being steam, including 1 coal-fired, some like Dash 9s, and a few other things. And I jokingly told him, like, yeah, people I know have been joking with me, like, well, now that I've got the garden railroad, I need to do 7.5-inch. And he took it one look in my yard. He's like, you've got some land, but the grade would be terrible. So you'd have to do a lot of work. I'm like, that's what I'm saying. Because my whole, like, house basically has the house, and then the rest of the land slopes away. So it would be a drainage and landscaping nightmare to do. So it confirmed that I will not be getting the 7.5 gauge anytime soon. So Bandit saying stick with HO scale with Lincoln pin couplers. Yes. Wait, Lincoln pin couplers in HO? That also sounds like a time.
That sounds like masochism.
Yeah. Yeah. But, I said roughly in an hour we'll show off the video that I recorded earlier today of what's currently going on in the garden. But,
garden.
Yeah, but, like, 7.5-inch gauge is cool, but that's A, hecka expensive, and B, I would need to actually be able to machine my own parts in order to do that, and I do not have any lathes or presses or anything of that level to be able to do. So, yeah.
And it'll be I'm going to predict the future for just a second. I know what's going to happen. I already know. You're going to get the bug. You're going to go and play with Live Steam, Big Kid Live Steam. And you're gonna end up getting the bug for Big Kid Live Steam. And then we're gonna end up seeing, we're gonna end up seeing some big live Steam showing up.
Well, at the current rate, if I get uber tempted, which I'm trying not to do, there's a chance I could have bigger garden scale live Steam without having to go to 7.5. Because again, that's hecka expensive. I have to get a trailer to be able to haul it around. Hell, I would need to get a new car to be able to haul all the stuff that I would need for 7.5-inch. Which again, I don't have, nor do I want to, or would I be in the process for. And see, Odd Redneck saying, mini lathes are cheap enough on Viver. I found a 3-axis CNC machine ready to roll for $10,000. Yeah, I don't have $10,000 to throw at a CNC machine.
But you will one day, and my point is, see, I'm gonna be the devil on your shoulder for just a second.
Okay.
That trailer, you can be the guy with the trailer. If you buy a truck, you can be the guy with a truck and a trailer, and you can make a little bit of side money hauling furniture for friends and acquaintances. So it's not like you're buying an asset that only has one use. Really, the only asset that has one use is the train itself. Because think about it, Angry. If you have a machine shop, you can fix your own live steam.
So, funny story about that.
Oh, God.
So, as I mentioned last week, so Thursday, Friday, Saturday, I was down in rural Southern Virginia running live steam. And at one point, I was just having issues with the air collar on the engine. And for those who don't know, in garden scale at least, there is literally a ring of brass that goes around where you put the burner in for your fire. And the way it's set up is you basically have, where your firebox door is, you have a pipe that goes into your firebox, which is then, of course, surrounded by water. And on the outside of the pipe, out by the cab itself, there's a small hole, maybe half the size of a penny wide, that allows for airflow, so that way you have plenty of airflow for your flame. And depending on where you put this brass ring, which just slides over that pipe, you can then restrict or give more air to then help with your flame. So I was having issues because I was in a much more humid environment. I needed to adjust my air collar a little bit, that way everything was igniting well and not burning out when I was using it. So I say, great, let me move my air collar, and it's a very tiny, 3.0 nut that I have to, unscrew, move, rescrew. And the moment I went to rescrew, the head of the bolt sheared off right on top of the air collar, which meant that we had to drill out that bolt, and it made the air collar not quite unusable, but I would not have a hole for it. Thankfully, the guy that I was at his railroad has a freaking machine shop in a side building where he has lathes and drills and CNC machines to be able to make parts out of brass and everything else. So sure enough, he's like, all right, let's go ahead and get this fixed. And we take the locomotive in, and sure enough, we drill the old one off. He's like, well, we probably could reuse this, but let's just make you a new one. So he just starts getting the calipers out, measures everything, and about 45 minutes later has crafted me a brand new air collar with a new bit to lock it in on there with a different screw type that will not shear off if it breaks.
God bless.
And he's like, here you go. I'm like, let me pay you for this. He's like, no, I like helping you out. I'm like, no, you just spent an hour fixing my goddamn stupidity because I over-tightened the bolt to get it, and then it sheared. He's like, nah, this is what we do. And literally the other people who were there, which are 2 or 3 people I've interacted with before, were like, yeah, you literally have, the best luck, because if you had broken this anywhere else, we'd have told you that you need to find someone to fix it. But you're literally at the right person's house to do this. I'm like, what the heck? So, sure enough, I have a brand new air collar, and the guy took the old one, drilled a new hole, and also put a new bolt in that one, so now I have a spare. And the engine works beautifully. So, needless to say, I had this delusions of grandeur of, wow, maybe I could put an outbuilding at my house and then put a small machine shop in there. But then I'm like, no. I do not have the time, the money, and probably the patience to be able to build my own goddamn machine shop.
It's
and
only
learn
just
those
a couple
skills.
of tools. Well, yeah.
So, yeah.
There's
Odd
some
Redneck,
not
no,
great
I am
things.
not getting a business loan and then having that as an investment.
Well, wait a minute, Angry. Wait a minute. I'll help you out.
This is starting to sound like a pyramid scheme. Go ahead.
No, it's not a pyramid scheme. I do it all the time. Are you going to make content with your live Steam engines?
I have been, yes.
Are you receiving income from that? I assume you are.
Yes. Not a lot, but some.
Are you, if you had a machine shop, would you make content in the machine shop?
Probably. I know where you're going with this.
Could you put the machine shop in your garage, in your house?
Not necessarily in the garage. I would need more space.
Right.
But it could be considered a home office, which could then be considered a business expense.
Yeah. Which, I just want to point out, you could write off all of your model trains because you're using them as a prop.
I did do that last year on my taxes, yes.
Attaboy. Attaboy. I have written off so much stuff. My tax accountant guy, whatever his title is, longtime family friend, he was like, the first year I did it, he was like, oh, you know, you're figuring things out, ain't you? And the next year I did it, he said, boy, you done got all this figured out, ain't you? I said, yeah, kinda. He's like, you should make content with your car. I'm like, I don't think I can write the car off.
But he's already thinking positively for you there, Sam. He's like, let's find every little thing that we can monetize.
Oh, yeah.
And then,
yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Which, I'm not going to lie, that might be part of the reason I've decided to do a model railroad layout, because it's like, oh, I can have model trains and write them off on my taxes? That sounds fun.
Yes.
Because we're going to make one video a year about them, because that's apparently all the time I have.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm so busy, it's not even, it's ridiculous. I need to find, like, I've been on the hunt to find a video editor in addition to the one I already have, just because I can't move fast enough for, you know, YouTube stuff and do official stuff at the same time, which my role over there is getting bigger, and it's like, you know, God bless. I need to spread it out a little bit.
See, that's the problem with me, is there are not enough hours in the day between my music stuff, the Garden Railroad, real life broad top big boy stuff, and any other like things of trying to have a life. Like, I think I mentioned a few weeks ago, my niece was born like 2 weeks ago. I'm going to be going down soon to go visit them. And I'm like pre-planning now, like 8 weeks ahead of time of when I can go, because I know I have to balance every other gosh darn thing in order to actually go down and to visit with my brother and sister-in-law. So, you know, it's like, holy heck, I'm trying to do that plus YouTube plus everything else. So, yeah. And unfortunately, like for some of this stuff, like YouTube does not, you know, at least for me, give enough income that I could justify hiring someone to be like, all right, you know, take care of editing videos for me if I just sent you content, make it interesting, whatever. It's like, I don't have that luxury. You know, I don't have a lot of, you know, extra time to do stuff, and I'm finding like, all right, I put in my 8 hours at the EBT. Now I'm heading home, and I'm going to spend 4 or 5 hours in my backyard while I have light. But
yeah,
then it's like, all right, oh crap, I didn't stream today. Okay, I'll get to it next day. Or the next day. And the next day. And it just starts to build and compact. And I have like a concert show, you know, in 3 weeks that I have yet to send out music and confirm with the venue some stuff. So it's like, I need to do that. So that's probably going to be tomorrow's task. So it's just like, the fun never stops.
Like, I think for me, my biggest problem is I own a bulldozer. And it's not a small one. It's very large. And I've had it for a couple of years now. And I've had it on like a lease, kind of. Like, nothing official. A handshake deal. You know how that goes. But my thing is, I'm finding that my whole idea to have passive streams of income does not work, and that, you know, that thing in particular has just been. I don't want to sell it, right? And I'm not going to, but it's like, you know, if you want to do more, you're going to need a lot more money to make that a bigger business, but if you don't, you know, like, it's paid for. It's just sitting there, right? I basically bought it for scrap. Not a big deal, but I don't know, man. Not enough hours in the day, and, you know, you're talking about hiring a video editor. My problem with hiring a video editor is, like, the same as yours. That is prohibitively expensive for what we do.
Yeah.
I mean, Mark is one thing, you know, wish all the success in the world of Mark, but, you know, he's in a position where he's got the numbers to make that worthwhile, and I don't. So it's like, yeah, I could do that, or I could not.
Yeah.
You know, I could put that on rent, you know. But, you know, I got to figure something out in a hurry.
Yeah, it'd be really nice if I made even, you know, 10 grand more a year just to help with some of that stuff, because then I could potentially have the funds to allow for some cool things. But yeah, no.
I think really, like, that, you know, I've got two guys that are helping in very well. Actually, I've got more than that, but it's like I have a hard time asking for, you know, as much help as I need, just because I know they have things they want to do, and they also have lives, and it's just like, you know, at some point it's like, yeah, just stop asking, just let it go, and, you know, and then stuff doesn't get done, and then I'm like, oh shit. But
yeah.
Oh well. Oh, shoot, what was the other thing? I had to tell you something, but I done forgot what it was. Don't worry, it'll come back to me.
I'm sure it will. It'll come back to you in like an hour and a half and be like, oh, dang it. And you'll be, you know, doing something else and be like, hold on, forgot this. And then boom.
Yeah, that's exactly what's going to happen. 100%.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, it'll be nice, but, you know, I make it work. I find a balance. I have been really trying to push, like, whenever I go to anything remotely railroad related, I try to film, whether it's a short or whether it's something else, just so that way it's up there. And right now, we have content through the middle of August, I think, preloaded on the channel. So, again, if you're a channel member, there's a lot of shorts. There's, you know, a few other things. So, check it out if you wish. $5 a month gets you access to all of that. Or don't.
Yes.
You can do your own thing. I'm not telling you how to live, and I'm not certainly out here, like, begging and pleading, like, please, let me fulfill my live Steam desires. Make me a crazy person that you do. I don't know. I was about to say something really awkward and weird. But, you know. But, you know. Every little bit definitely does get reinvested somehow into something that y'all see. Because, like, I have 32 bags of 2 cubic foot of dirt coming tomorrow. That's a lot of dirt.
Why didn't you just... Never mind. Is it like topsoil, or...?
It's, yeah, like topsoil that's designed for garden beds.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, if you just bought fill dirt, like junk, I was like, you probably... Well, I don't know how it works up there. I won't say probably.
Yeah. Would Angry want to live stream you into? You do realize you're talking like a $10,000 to $15,000 locomotive there, Mean Metal Mike. The most expensive engine I would probably get would be one of the bigger Ks, or like the West Side Shay, and that's like probably $7 grand. So, yeah, not cheap. And no, I'm not getting fill dirt because I do plan on having actual plants and stuff planted. So, and also for those who say, well, then, if you got fill dirt, you could just get like a pickup truck with it to drop it off in your backyard. Yeah, the problem is, and I learned this with all of my crusher finds, it still leaves quite a residue afterwards, and I have to then shovel it out, carry it, and redump it. Where if I just have bags, I can use something else to then dump it in and get it exactly where I want it.
Yeah,
so.
I mean, that's one of those things where your garden railroad is not big enough to justify heavy equipment, but it's also big enough that, like, you're kind of on that cusp of, do I do it the quick and maybe save a dime, or do I do it the slow way and take my time? And I work around heavy equipment, so my default answer would just be call up the boss, borrow a skid steer for a weekend, and just take it to the house and knock it out in half an hour.
Yeah.
But I forget that there are people in the world that don't just have a buddy with a backhoe. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which, that's not bad or anything. Just this is the way the world is.
Yep.
Now, if you live closer, we could have built the transcontinental railroad in your backyard, and then I could have written my bulldozer off.
Well, see, I still have these delusions of grandeur, and now my 5 to 10 year plan is, if I have the funds to do it. There's a lot of garden railroads that do live steam that are just literally like posts into the ground with with either plywood or like outdoor grade wood that are then what's it called? Like just some sort of decking on top that then can support 2 tracks or 1 track or whatever. And all they do is they'll set up an oval or maybe a more unique little loop to do that. And I do have the space in my backyard that I could almost do like a, for lack of a better term, I'm going to call it a pole railroad that could just be like a giant L with either a balloon loop at either end or just double tracked where it kind of swings out in a weird L-shaped dog bone that would then have the 20-foot curves that would be necessary for example, if Sam says, hey, I just got this really cool heavy Mikado that I want to run in live steam. Can we run it? And I say, sure. The problem is you would need 15-foot or 20-foot diameter curves to do it. On my current layout, I don't have. But, if someone had, like, I want to run a big boy, I want to run a Challenger, I want to run a GS4 Daylight, you would need to have those curves to do that. Heck, even the 2-foot gauge stuff, you have to have, at a minimum, the 15-foot diameter curves in order to operate. So, depending on how far down the rabbit hole I get with this live steam stuff, maybe I'll just be stuck with, not stuck, but, stay with what I have in my garden because I can't expand the curves in that. Or I could put a shorter but more, broader curved pole railroad in the backyard that could then be, hey, if people come up for a live steam meetup or something, go there. And the beauty of it is you could still then incorporate various like landscaping features in. Like you could say, like, okay, well, in this part it's going to actually clip around where there's already dirt. So then you just have it go from the poles onto the dirt and then have it turn around or do whatever. So there's ways of doing it, but
yeah,
that is
I will tell you,
very far off, not going to happen anytime soon idea.
Well, let me just plant an evil bug in your ear for just a second, if I may, and be a very bad influence.
Oh boy.
So, Angry, how much is one of those big Ks? About what, 5?
So the one that I will answer your question with a quick tangent and then get back to your question. The one that the dude up in Boston wants to try and sell me, he bought originally for $5, quoted the value of it today as $2,500, and then wanted $5. Explain how that works logically.
Boomer.
Yeah.
That's all you need to say.
But probably the new ones that are come out will range anywhere from $5,000 to $8,000, I would have to guess.
Okay. All right. So let's just on a note of passing theories here. Let's write the engines out of it for just a second, but that's good to have. So you're figuring that you're probably just on timber alone to build one of those elevated L-shaped things with big broad curves. You're probably looking at about the same price as the locomotive, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's just figure about 10% more. So let's say it's going to cost about, on the upper end, about $9,000 to put the whole thing in. Good track, wide curves, you know, good concrete in the ground, etc. As an alternative, you can go on Iron Planet right now and buy a functioning bulldozer for about $10,000. And not like a skid steer with a blade on it. I mean a metal tracked Caterpillar bulldozer. Now, I'm not saying, you know, you need to do that, but I'm just saying, you know, the option is there.
Sam really is trying to be a bad influence. What the hell will AngryRagtimer do with a bulldozer? And then he'll be like, well, what won't AngryRagtimer do with a bulldozer?
Listen, you're missing the point here. Everybody, you know, everybody's in the friend circle's got the friend with the truck. You're the friend with a bulldozer. At that point, you can do whatever the hell you want. There's nothing you can't do. Fix a driveway, build a pond, log off a forest. You know, you go on a rampage, whatever you see fit, you can just go do that. Yeah, you know, you weld the cab up and sides up, and it's not like anybody's tried that before or anything. I'll let that joke simmer for a moment. We're not recommending you do that here on the AngryRagtimer YouTube channel. We're just saying you can do that. That we don't recommend it. Not cool. But it is an option. Just don't take it.
That
was a good yoke. But no, like, I mean, I'm looking at a 2007 D5 LGP with the big fat tracks. For $16,000. That's a good price. That's a good machine. It'll run like hell. And I mean, you know, you're going to live out in the woods. You need something to fix your driveway with. Why not a bulldozer?
The sad thing is I do need a little bit of stone put in my driveway to help fill some potholes. But my hope was once I get done with a little bit more of this crusher fines, I would just, you know, scoop that up into a couple of buckets and pour them in the 2 or 3 spots I need and then just call it a day.
Actually,
but if I had a bulldozer...
Well, I'll tell you, if that's all you want to do with it is fix your driveway, you could buy a very cheap vintage tractor, and I mean, it would be, those go for $2,500, give or take, and you can just get a drag box, and you don't really, if you have to add stone, fine, but really all you're doing is reprofiling the driveway, and it just goes up and down, and, you know, it's a small tractor. I mean, it's got, like, you know, not that many cylinders. You can fix them with bubble gum and tape because that's what they... I mean, I've looked at, like, 1940s John Deeres, and they have, like, no horsepower, but you don't need a lot of horsepower. You just kind of putz around with it.
Yeah.
And they're very easy to maintain. They're very forgiving, and I mean, you know, my problem is I have a very long driveway. We're talking in excess of a mile, and I'm not gonna say where, right? But we share, you know, at one point our driveway merges in with other people's and we have a common road. Well, you know, I contribute rock. One of my neighbors contributes, you know, the machine to do it, and we all just get out there and kind of do it. And even I'm like, you know, it would be handy to have something small that you could do, you know, work around the house that you need to do, like I do, you know, pulling up stumps and whatnot. That's no, it's just you know, you live out in the woods, you need heavy equipment. That's just about the end of it. Like if if a tree falls down, you need a chainsaw and you need, equipment. You need 4-wheel drive. You need all that. It's not like living in the suburbs, but...
I mean, the question then becomes, if a tree falls in the wood and Sam's there to see it, does he get a bulldozer to fix it?
No, usually I actually just take my chainsaw and cut it, and then because I'm a rational human being with, friends, I just get the hydraulic wood splitter and split it into firewood, let it season, and then burn it in the winter so my heating bill isn't that high.
You heard it here first, folks. He's irrational.
Oh, yeah, and I burn block coal, too. I burn coal in my house. So, if a tree falls in the woods, that's not necessarily a bad thing. As long as it doesn't land on the house, we're all right.
See, there you go. And think I'm just back here in my backyard burning coal in my steam engine, which will hopefully be here soon.
That reminds me, if you need some, I know where to get some that is actually perfectly sized and is good. I mean, it is almost it's high enough BTU that it's almost met coal, but because of where it's mined, I can get it by the ton. But if you need some, let me know.
I may or may not take you up on that, because the dude who I usually get my Welsh coal from, apparently that has now dried up. There is no more Welsh coal to get. However, there's someone maybe like 25 minutes away, 30 minutes away from where I live, apparently that does sell anthracite that has a decent BTU to it. But I'm always looking for potential sources, and depending on how much I actually start running, and depending on if I end up jumping off the deep end and I say, great, these Rio Grande engines are going to be coal-fired, so I get a K in coal and this C18 in coal, and then I get up a few others that are butane only, like the West Side engines or whatever, then God help me. But
what are you paying? Like, okay, I'm not trying to dig into your personal finances, but just ballpark for the audience. You're buying it in what, like a 50-pound bag or something?
So what I've been buying is 20-pound boxes of coal that I got through the train department, and it's basically $3 a pound, so it's $60 per box plus shipping. But I can go up to like Tractor Supply or something and get like pea coal or something for like, I think like $40-50 is a bag for something like that.
So you're paying what, about
$3 a pound?
Right, so 3 times 2,000.
Also, hello, Garion. Welcome.
So you're paying $3 a pound. What if I told you I could get you a ton for about $300?
Yeah, that would be a bit of a steal there.
Yeah, it's bituminous. Now, it's not anthracite, but it is. I mean, it's good stuff.
It also just depends on the ash content of how much ash I have to deal with. Because those things, the flues are not huge. That's the main problem.
That's true. I didn't think about that. Well, I don't know. I mean, I can send you a bag of it, and if you like it, I can put you in touch. The thing is, they're not going to want to ship it by the bag.
Yeah.
So I had to figure that out, but we'll get there.
How do I get a ton of coal stored in my backyard? Had to build like a little chest that the truck drops it off.
No, I'll tell you exactly how to do it. What you do is you save your money. You go rent you a U-Haul trailer, one of them high-sided car haulers, and then you just strap it, drive it down here, load the thing up with as much coal as that thing will hold in weight, which, because they're meant to hold cars, is about 3 tons, and you just drive home, and you just unload it, and then you never have to buy coal ever again.
Interesting.
Yep. That's it. That's literally it. I've seen people do that.
Jesus Christ. See, you're giving me these crazy delusions of grandeur, but also at the same time, it's like, could that actually work? Maybe. Especially with how coal is. Because I've also thought about literally being like the, hey, Dimitrovich, our master mechanic, when you put in the next coal order, can I get how do I get in on this to get railroad pricing that I'll just pay the railroad back for?
I mean, I'll be real with you, Chief. Like, we buy it by the ton, but we buy a little bigger grade of coal. It's somewhere between nut and it's somewhere around nut, but it's like they break it up for home consumption because there are people that use it. And one year we bought block coal, which was these big 30-pound lumps that are like twice the size of a football. And after that, I said, yeah, nah, we're gonna pay the little bit of money for something I don't have to break up with a sledgehammer.
Yeah,
because contrary to popular belief, I do not have an ocean liner-sized boiler in my house.
What?
I need something a little smaller. Yeah, burning that stuff was a learning experience because we bought it and then, it's so big that you set it on the grate and then it just kind of sits there. You need to have a lot of it covering the entire grate, and I put wood in there with it so it, the wood just, because it doesn't need like a force draft or anything to burn, the wood will just burn if there's oxygen. Well, the wood takes off and then the coal takes off once the wood, the coals get up to temperature. Once, I'll tell you this, it was -6 outside my house. It was 84 degrees downstairs.
I believe it.
Oh yeah. I only have to touch it about once every 3 hours. But I don't know what that'll do in a live steam engine, so maybe I just mail you a bag and then you try it.
Yeah, I want to make sure that I actually can properly fire these engines first, though, because again, I was struggling a bit, but part of me thinks that was user error of like I was just choking the fire and not getting it well. And one of the dudes who was there was like, yeah, I heard you were having issues with coal firing, and I came prepared to help you, and then you don't have your coal engine. I'm like, I'm sorry, I had to send it back. It was broken. So.
Well, I've got to head out. I got to go do Motoring Mondays. So I will see you all in the future. Thank you so much for having me, Angry. I appreciate it.
You're very welcome, sir.
All right. Well, we'll catch you later, buddy. And guys, don't forget to like the stream. Angry will say it, but I'll say it for you. Don't forget to like the stream. It helps us out with the algorithm because God knows small-time train creators have a hard enough time with the algorithm, especially if you're enjoying all these wonderful views of 2 pulpwood cars shoving a shay down the mountain fast enough to burn up every bearing on that locomotive, but it's okay because it's funny.
Yes.
And consider subscribing to the Angry Ragtimer. At least once a month, if not more than once a month, Angry gets on here and plays with trains and occasionally does something goofy. Which is definitely worth the watch and worth being notified about.
God, that just brought me to PTSD from the last time we had that giant cluster on the mountain. Oh my God.
Yeah, you're right. I remember that because somebody came and told me about that, and I had to click over and go, what the hell's Angry up to over here? What the hell?
Yeah.
Anyway, you all have a fun night. I will talk to you all later. Once again, thank you so much for having me.
Yep, we'll see you, Sam.
See ya.
See you, Sam. Hey, Angry, I posted in the update channel, but which mod file is right for coppers?
You'll need both, because one is the main and then one was a patch for it.
Oh, okay. They were named the same. I figured they were just the same file. One was a newer version.
No, one's a patch for it, so you'll need both in there. And let me get caught up a little bit on some chat things here. Odd Redneck, is Bryson done yet? No, we are literally trying to get to Bryson, and looks like we have 2 more cars of stuff that we need to do for that. So that should hopefully clear up soon here. Bandit has a 3D printer that is used for HO. Silent Neighbor saying, yay, Ragtimer, and Shay and Lumber. Yes. And we'll be trying out this new heavy Mikado here soon to run this stuff down to the interchange. Odd Redneck saying, I'm the only one here with a sawmill. Get a 4-8 tractor. You do crazy well. You people think I have all this room for tractors and all sorts of stuff. I would... And Highland Winterwolf saying... Hi, General.
I assume that was General.
Hi.
General coming in, just blaring, yeah, let's go. Highland Winterwolf saying, Angry, you might want to get a cast iron stove. Those are good to have. I do not have a cast iron stove, but never say never.
But they're good to have.
Yes.
Why do you need a cast iron stove?
Because Sam and I got on a tangent about coal firing, and if he could basically find me a source that I can buy a ton of coal for $300, but I just have to come down and get it with like a U-Haul.
Oh, I mean, I do have a truck.
But do you have a truck that could haul a ton of coal in the bed?
Probably not. No, I don't think so. I think it would doing that. It could probably do it once.
You could do anything once with a truck.
Yes, exactly. Just like any ship can be a minesweeper once. Hey, are all those Unity, by the way?
If you look up on the thing, it breaks down what items are Unity and which ones are Railloader.
Does it? Oh,
yes, it does.
So it does.
Yes.
Whoops. That's my... I'm smart.
Well, this could actually work out well, because if you guys are updating, as I mentioned for video, people who have been watching, we have an update video on the Garden Railroad. It's 15 minutes long. That I've been waiting to show off. Hold on. Steam Lance said he posted some American stuff. Ooh!
What?
There's a Great Northern 2882 LGB Shay.
Where's that at?
In Angry Trains.
Let me see. Ooh! Oh, I like the number 7.
But you could have a live Steam version with West Side General eventually.
Allegedly.
If Jay actually gets that going. I sent him an email. I'm like, thank you for a good weekend. Thank you for the invite. Also, if you need money to help, like guarantee interest in this stuff, like I can put your usual
crowdsource.
Well, I was basically like, I will put down your usual deposit amount to like confirm my interest. So, well, since all I'm doing right now is switching, and it's probably gonna be a few minutes for these guys to get in, anyways. Why don't we watch the video about the Garden Railroad updates, and
That's that. Whoop.
and then we go from there. So
Okay.
let me make sure that I have this up here for
Yes.
you peoples,
Here I am.
so you too can watch.
Let's see.
But
Pretty
let's
sure I
see
got
here.
all that.
All right,
Yeah.
it's time for Garden Railroad video updates. So I'm gonna mute myself, and we'll come back here in a few moments. Hello viewers, and welcome to this special look just on stream for what's currently going on with the Garden Railroad. Apologize for the pile of stuff here. We had a violent storm come through a few days ago, and I purposely moved stuff undercover so that way it's a little more organized. But let's get started here. So if you haven't been a channel member, you're probably a couple of weeks behind on what's actually going on over here. So the main thing is dirt is starting to be put in over the conduit. Everything is physically wired up except for one area. So I'm now trying to fill everything in. You can see some of our switches here coming off of the yard leads. We've adjusted a few things. You can see there's kind of dents for where track might have been previously. We're currently trying to upgrade a few things to make it easier to actually operate. The main thing being switches. So one thing I did not realize when building is these Aristocraft switches, these are Aristocraft wide radius switches. They advertise that they are 10-foot curves, so 5-foot diameter, 10-foot, or 5-foot radius, 10-foot diameter. The problem is these curves are a lot tighter than advertised, and because of their swing, my larger pieces of equipment, which is what I primarily run, don't like them as much. So I have now begun the process of actually switching out to a larger switch. So just to give you an idea, this is a LGB R5, which is a 15-foot diameter, 7.5-foot radius curve. as opposed to a similar switch, which is supposedly this 5, but it actually is a 4. So you can see the difference in the swings. So these are slowly being switched out across the layout to allow for smoother operations with the bigger equipment. So that's what's going on there. The turntable is in. The turntable still needs a bit of leveling and adjustment. I actually might need to adjust the radius of the ring rail just a little bit here, so you can kind of see what's going on there. The area around it has been covered over with gravel to make it nice. Our tracks for the roundhouse are there. They're wired in. You can actually see that some of the tracks have everything wired in. It's now just a case of getting the roundhouse actually built, and then once that goes in, we can finally get those tacked on to the turntable. So that's what's up. Heading out here, you can see I've been putting down a bit more ballast. Again, that's because of the switch fixes. So our track coming out now has a new R5 switch to help with that. Everything seems to work pretty well with the switch mechanisms, getting that all in. So that is good. Coming out, I've been slowly, again, putting more dirt down. So what used to be a crater here is now actually in with dirt. Yes, more dirt needs to go down. There's a few little spots where you can see my power line. So I need to get that reburied, do some adjustments here. It needs to happen. Continuing out, we get over to our mountain. A lot of the rocks around here have been adjusted a few times to try and accommodate things. You'll see this bridge, which was a split jaw girder bridge, is in, but you can also see there's a couple of very stiff transitions kind of going out from here. So there's a lot of little tweaks and adjustments that need to happen, and I'm hoping that if I have friends over or other things, I need to adjust it. You can also kind of see in there with our track, there's a bit of a steep descent that starts right after that piece. So a few more little tweaks and things have to go. But the mountain itself is starting to look like a real mountain. Unintentionally or intentionally, some of the dirt I put up top is now seeping down. So it's creating this rocky effect, which is nice. Over here, what used to be a bridge coming out of the tunnel has now been filled in. There's still a little bit of leveling work that needs to be done, but I like this look a lot better. It makes it a little bit stronger as far as a base. But again, there's a little bit of a track dip you can kind of see there. So I just need to keep tweaking it. Heading over here, we have a new-ish structure. This is a Pico water tower. So that has been a kit that I built a few weeks ago. That is now starting to settle in nicely on the layout. And the fun fact is it does actually work. So the top can come off, and then there's actually a little pipe that comes out the bottom, just like the real thing, so I can actually use it for watering locomotives. It does need a little bit of tweaking. I need to seal the inside of it again, since it likes to leak, but that's there. The plants you see are not things I've planted. Those are weeds, so I've been slowly picking them. You can see that dirt has also been settling over time, which I expected, but I need to get a little bit more because you can start to see the retaining wall in there, which then, speaking of, here's my new retaining wall. I have mixed feelings about it. General was here a few weeks ago and helped put one in because we realized that we needed something to actually hold back the dirt. Now that it's rained a little bit, stuff is actually starting to settle in, and you can see that the retaining wall is actually retaining. It does not look pretty, but it is doing what it's supposed to do. But I need to add just a hair more dirt on the top. That way it's a seamless transition. So that is coming along nicely. But I'm hoping over time this will just naturally weather, and stuff that looks a little rough will look a little less rough. Fun fact, this is actually aluminum rail that I have cut on a saw and then used to help everything be held back. So that is fun. I'm just not happy with how the glue came out with some places. So there's that. Continuing on, you'll see that the pipe becomes uncovered over here. A friend of mine had suggested using light switches as toggle on-offs for the upper tracks here, and then having it run down with a box somewhere in front of this track, which is still the idea, but the way he suggested doing it, I have no idea, because I ordered the stuff he wanted. I have no idea how he actually intends to have it work. So that's that. I will also add, looking back here, the switch that's in the track there. That's one of our problem switches that I'm going to switch out. I have ordered a new switch from Only Trains, and that should be here in a few days, so that'll be readjusted. Another structure that's kind of new is this Silverton outhouse building. This is a kit from Pola. So I assembled that. I still need to glue 2 things to the roof, but it is physically there and it's doing its thing. Hopefully we'll have an actual station building next to that at some point in the future. Looking at the upper tracks, you can also see that some of the levels are not quite equal, and there's a few little dips and burps in there. So that does need to be adjusted a little bit more. So that'll be a future project when I have a friend over. Continuing on, again, the grade starts to go. The conduit I had to run up and over so that way I didn't interrupt what was already pre-built. There's also a few track sections that you can see. There's some very strong changes in gradient that I need to have adjusted. This point's been a problem point for a while. You can see more of that abrupt change where it goes from steeper to less steep, so it needs to be worked on. Continue over through our rock pile, and we have another conduit block that's actually hidden back here. That'll be covered over with dirt or gravel in the near future. So that's there. You can't really even tell where the connection point is, so that's proud of that. Up top, you'll see I put in one of those larger radius switches, but I'm short a piece, and there's not a piece that's the right length. We'll take a quick look at that in another second, so we'll come back to that. Out front, track then goes over our small bridge. One of the pilings fell over, but it wasn't actually load bearing, so that's okay. We'll fix that later. This is the one Aristocrat switch I'm going to keep because it has an 8-foot curve, then going up to where my Ophir station area will be. So that is a future problem that'll be dealt with. Actually, not even a problem. It's just something that we're going to leave in here because that needs to be wide enough for the track. But you can see again, there's a bit of a steep dip at the very end that needs to be adjusted. So we're going to leave this one here. Track keeps going around. There's potentially a few areas where I need to look at balance of where the track is. You can see some of the grade changes here. There may be a few points where I need to adjust them. You can also see there's points that I might need to come back with ballast as stuff settles to fill in. It's not a problem right now, but it could be long-term if stuff is still settling as rain and other things come through. You see we have another one of our connection points here. The wires need to be covered over, and I'm getting 32 bags of dirt tomorrow as of recording this. That'll then be used. So we have the ones going up to this point here, and then we have our underground wires that then go over to the other power point there. So that'll be covered over probably tomorrow, if not Wednesday of this week. We then have another bridge, which is currently just sitting doing its thing. Both of these bridges eventually will be replaced. I plan on custom building some ones that are actually prototypical to what the Rio Grande or the Rio Grande Southern would have had. That mill building, I haven't found a permanent home for it yet. Right now it just happens to live there, but it's doing its thing. As we come up, as you can see, the ground has shifted a little bit under here just because the rain has been coming through and it's getting everything cemented in. So I need to go in with some ballast and then get that. This is where we're currently waiting on just getting the track put together. When those bags of dirt are coming over, there's a hacksaw coming with it that'll be good for cutting into brass, so that'll be fixed. Again, wider radius switch, which will then go up to our 2 tracks. The outer track is our main, the inner track is our station siding, so eventually there will be a station building. The ground level, as you can see, is a little bit different for right now. More dirt will be put in, and we may put in a few more rocks and stuff to help cover that over, but that'll then give a little bit more depth and things as we get that going. And then, of course, coming back along the station track here, again, the wires from down below, a few new leveling points that we have to work out, station building, and then again, this problem switch, which you can see both grade transition wise is not great. And then if you take a look from the outside of the thing, it's kind of janky. So a bigger switch should be here in a few days. As I mentioned, this Pico water tower kit, it's the one that's the Rio Grande theme, actually does have a spot for water. I do need to get some bugs out of there though. And then you're looking into our tunnel. The tunnel thankfully has not been having issues, and it's long enough that it's dark in there, but not long enough that it's a major problem point, so that's good. The only thing that I've noticed is the ground has settled around it just a hair, so it actually goes uphill to get out of the tunnel. Not a major issue, but just something I need to be mindful of. Coming around the back, you can see I'm just holding everything in now with a couple of blocks, and that seems to be fine. And I'm probably gonna leave it like this for ease of access. That way I don't build up something gargantuan. And if there's ever a problem, I need to get back in. Kind of a nice overhead view of what we're looking at here. Again, the bridge. Again, you can kind of, again, as you're going into the tunnel there. The fun thing is, of course, there's nature out here, so I have to occasionally knock down cobwebs and different things, and eventually there'll be some tunnel portals over that to make it look pretty. Then heading down here, again, digging out for the conduit, I ended up with a bunch of extra dirt, and that's now ended up right over here. It actually kind of works nicely as a backdrop for everything. Keeps coming down. Again, some grade transitions will be good. You can see our new switch and then how the yard looks with those in. Hopefully in the near future, this view will be a lot different because I'm getting my Osier style water tower delivered in the near future. That'll be placed more or less dead camera center right there. And that'll be then our spot for watering engines, mainly as a prop, but then the straight track before that next switch will become where the cold tower and sand house for Chama in Mexico will live. Sand house probably coming end of summer, cold tower in January. Again, coming back here, new dirt mound, that was a result of me building. And we'll probably live here like that unless I change it up in the future. Again, dirt's coming down. You can see some of the spots where I've just ran out of dirt temporarily, so this will get filled in soon. And then coming back around, we get a better view of the turntable, which is currently lined. It's not locked in, but it's currently lined for everything. And again, you can tell that there's some grade work that needs to be done. I actually was at a Steam Up this past week with General, and we may end up tweaking some stuff on that. The track then comes down and loops back around, and then we're back to where we started. So long story short, things are pretty daggone good. There's some stuff that needs to still be tweaked, some stuff that still needs to be adjusted, but we're coming along. I will say that the donations that people give, whether they're super chats, channel memberships, shout outs when we do live streams, that sort of thing, are all being reinvested into this. So I'm very thankful that y'all have been so supportive. You know, stuff like that is just, hey, there's new cool stuff for you to see the next time we film out here or operate or that sort of thing. Eventually, a long-term goal is to actually have a Steam Up at my home where I can invite other people, General included, to run. Big thing of what I'm also doing right now, as you can kind of tell, there's a lot of wires here. I do need to still put my junction box up that has all of my wiring. I'm debating where it's going to go. It may end up living on the side of my house right over here. But all the wires are run. It just needs to be connected, other than those 2 points we talked about earlier. So coming along, but you know, it would be lovely to have a few people running at one time, both live steam, electric, battery power. So that could be a thing in the future. Over time, we'll start to fill in more buildings. There's a couple others that I'm working on or trying to procure. But hopefully then I'll be able to actually open this up so friends, family, people in the community, that sort of thing can also come out and enjoy. So things are coming along nicely. Thanks again for watching, and we'll have more to show off here hopefully in the near future. Bye-bye.
himself.
Yeah.
All right, I am
looking
back. I
number
apologize about the delay there at the end. My aunt, who never calls me, called me, and my first thought was, "Oh no, there's been an accident." Because my aunt never calls me, and I thought that was something like, "Hey, just to let you know, there's someone in the hospital," or, "God damn it, I might have definitely just crashed into something." No, she's like, "Hey, so I'm going to this place in Colorado in a few weeks. It's called like Antonito, and I was trying to pick your brain about like going out to Durango to ride the train." And I'm like, "No, why are you doing that? Just ride the Coomers and Toltec. It's right frickin' there." So that then led to a conversation about the Coomers and Toltec for a few minutes and like what else to do around Antonito and Alamosa, Colorado, which was the last place I was expecting my aunt to be like, "By the way, I'm thinking about visiting here." But sure enough. So apologies on the delay, but I am now back. And
Well,
everything is okay now.
Right before you came back, I had literally just said to Angry, I have a feeling he's on a phone call or something.
Yeah.
we were talking about that. Also, I'm trying to get back into the groove of Whistle Quillin after we actually have frames now.
Yes. Yes, we have frames.
Also,
where's the passenger train at right now?
It's somewhere between here and Silva.
did he go robotic for you?
Yes, I was just about to ask, was it my end or not?
Arigato,
my end.
Mr. Roboto.
Your mom is a roboto?
Your dad's
Sounds
a
like
robot.
it's working now.
Okay.
Yeah, it sounds like you may be okay.
So I didn't hear where the passenger train is.
It's just south of Barker's, heading east.
Is its next stop Silva, or is there something else
It's
in
stopping at
between?
Dillsboro in the meanwhile.
Okay, so I have time.
Yes, it is stopping at the station in Silva. It may need to be
Yes,
thrown
but
off to
I'm
the side
working on
somewhere, but
I'm working on the piggyback track, so wanted to make sure if I had time to pull out from there.
yes. And JSJ gifting 5 memberships. JSJ, why? I mean, thank you, but why? So, hopefully everyone enjoyed the little look at what's going on with the Garden Railroad. As I said, there's a lot going on. But yeah, it's coming along slowly but surely. So more updates coming soon. But yeah, I was currently doing switch work, more gravel work, and as I said, I got 32 bags of dirt coming tomorrow. So it'll be dirty work.
But will it be will it be dirty deeds done dirt cheap?
Yes, exactly. And thank you, JSJ, for the 5 memberships. Odd Redneck saying, it's time to sell the Jarl and make Dosh. Yes, if we could sell the Jarl, then we can actually go back to our main mission of freaking Mikado's Chase of Climaxes.
Didn't someone donate the Jarl, though?
I think Odd Redneck did.
I think it was Odd Redneck.
So Odd Redneck is now bequeathing that to us to change, supposedly. So we'll see.
Spare parts!
Yeah, hey, we could scrap it once we get over to Bryson. Which right now we are still waiting on, looks like 2 cars of stuff to empty over there.
Also, by the way, I 100% thought you mutilated my 10-wheeler.
No. You saw the
got to
scrap
see
ones?
that 10-wheeler we
Yes,
bought.
I saw the scrap 10-wheeler, and I thought you'd done something horrific to my 10-wheeler. Actually, do I have a 10-wheeler on the save?
I don't think you
No.
do.
Because the intent was Climax's, Shay's,
And
But-
Mikado's.
But 10-wheeler.
But then we found that we could shay it up and no, I'm sorry, scrap it up, because once we get the Scrapalachia, then we can buy locomotives cheap, turn it into repair parts, and then
Yes, but I still would I still would like my 10-wheeler. Look, I haven't received any updates on my real life locomotive. I'd like a digital one at some point that I can call my very own.
And that 10-wheeler we did buy for scrap does look a lot like a model train. Like
It
a live
does.
steam one.
oh, you said the magic words to get General all giddy.
10-wheeler.
10-wheeler and live steam.
Yes, 10-wheeler and live steam. Oh,
All right, so my heavy Mikado is now ready to depart. So I'm going to start heading down the line here. Oh, I didn't pick a bell for this engine. No wonder I can't hear a bell.
But can you ring my bell?
Well, I can't hear the bell either, so it's currently broken, but oh well. Ring my bell.
Alright, train, we're gonna do this nice and gently. Nice, gentle, controlled descent. Controlled descent. Okay, we're good. So, how did the heavy Mikado come about?
That was a donation from Odd Redneck. So
Aha.
now we have big honkin' Mikado with something like 50,000 pounds of tractor effort, I think.
That is a big honking Mikado.
Just as the good Lord intended.
Yes.
So,
Also, hello everybody saying hi, General, I guess.
yes.
Yes. I don't ever hardly look at chat because it's not my channel, not my YouTube, and I only have one monitor.
Not
Sad.
your monkey, not your circus.
Yes. Although I do occasionally throw peanuts in.
Can't confirm he threw peanuts at me this past week. It hurt my face.
Yes.
General, do you want to tell people about your magical adventures on Friday and Saturday?
Well, did you tell the people about Magical Adventures?
Not really. So
Well, so Angry and I were invited to a very nice private railroad. Well, not like full-blown railroad. Private backyard railroad, garden railroad, by a very nice gentleman who we'd met previously at Spencer. And it was a good time. It was a lot less running of live steam than you would expect. There was a lot. Would you say there was a lot more just kind of what's the
sitting
proper
around and
technical
bullshitting.
term?
Yeah.
Yes, standing around and bullshitting than there was running of trains. But it was a very nice, casual atmosphere. You know, it's very much like, hey, I want to run my train, go for it.
Yeah. It was definitely
yeah.
different from the Steam Over Spencer event, where it's like there was, what did Jay say, like 100 or so people who registered for it, and they're all like, we want to run our trains. So
Yeah, it was over 100 people who registered across 4 tables or something like that.
yeah.
But it was only like what, 10 of us maybe?
Less than it was like a dozen or less overall for the couple of days.
Yeah. So it was a very, very chill, relaxed environment. I didn't get there until Friday. Angry had actually been there on Thursday, so I'm not sure what shenanigans he got up to there.
I can explain the Thursday part at least.
Okay.
So I got down there. I actually drove down Wednesday night and stayed at a hotel, and then went there around 9 a.m. the next morning. And when I got there, there were 2 or 3 other guys, and one of them was running a Mabel, which we can explain what a Mabel is in a moment. But introduced myself, reacquainted myself with our host, and then got to talk with Gordon and George, who brought a couple of engines. And it was kind of that thing of like, hey, let's hang out. And then I realized quickly that everyone who came down to this brought like 1 engine and a couple of cars. Like small cars, not like giant car sets that I'm used to trying to run. So I immediately was like texting General being like, whatever you do, don't bring like 50 billion cars, because this is not the scene for it.
This will come back later as important.
Yes. So I got my equipment out. Our host kind of gave me the grand tour of everything, which is really impressive. And his layout was set up with a runaround track, a turntable, a couple of little stubs for steaming up, and then basically a line that went out to a giant loop. So basically the idea was you set up on one of the steam ups, backed out, then went down. You could run around on the loop for a bit, come back, run around your train, and then turn around on the turntable and then go back out if you so chose. So it was a unique setup. It wasn't necessarily something that I would have chose to do, but it was very unique for his area. And he designed everything with actual metal track and 7/8 scale railroading in mind, which is basically, think main 2-footer on garden scale.
Well, at one point he did have a larger layout, because you could actually see the remnants of it around too.
Yes.
But I was talking with him and a couple other guys. I think he said it had just gotten too much to maintain, as he's getting older and that sort of thing.
Yeah. Oh, and fun fact, at the center of his railroad is a cemetery that was just like old, like 1800s or 1700s cemetery that's just in the middle of his yard. So he has to build his track around that. So
that is an interesting terrain hazard you don't necessarily think about taking into account unless you're the broad top.
Yeah. But Thursday, today's Monday. Thursday basically started off with just like a couple of guys meeting up, a couple of engines running around. But then again, as more people started to arrive, it was just the kind of casual hang out, eat a little bit of food, BS, talk about trains and models and life. And, throughout the day, more and more people started to show up. We did have something funny happen on Thursday night, which I don't think I told you, General. So we were trying to figure out, where we were going to go for dinner. Because basically the idea was you show up around 8 or 9 in the morning, you stay until 5, and then everyone starts packing up their stuff, and then you look at eating food. And with the town we were in, there's a handful of fast food places, and there's an old downtown that has a couple of actual mom and pop restaurants and a couple of chains. So we looked up a place, and Jay apparently is all about the food, which was interesting. But he's like, oh, there's this place called Anastasia's. Let's go down there. It's like a speakeasy sort of joint where you have to have the code word to go in, but they also have outdoor seating. And it was a really nice night, so we decided we would just eat outdoors. But the service was absolutely atrocious, and they kept running out of food. So we sat down. It took 10 minutes for the waitress to come out and get drinks, and then she didn't reappear for another 10 to 15 minutes. We finally ordered, and then she comes back and is like, oh yeah, we're out of salmon. So the one dude who ordered salmon then had to order another thing. Then we got all of our food, and they dropped the guy who's ordered the salmon's meal. So they had to cook up a new one.
Oh, no.
And the service just keeps getting slower and slower. And they're like, well, do you want dessert? And I'm like, you know what? I could go for dessert, so I got a slice of cheesecake. Mark, another one of the guys there, ordered a slice of cheesecake. My slice came. I offered it to Mark. Mark said no, and then Mark's cheesecake never showed up. And the ice cream that Jay and his son got was half melted by the time they got it. So basically, it ended up that all of our desserts were free. One dude's meal was completely free, and she didn't charge us for half the stuff. So,
wow.
I got probably a $30 meal for $20. I did not tip though. I was like, no, you were what should have been an hour and 15-minute dinner took about 2.5 hours. So,
Understandable.
it was just okay, now it's almost 9 o'clock. We got here at 6:15. And we were just done. We're throwing the money on the counter and just leaving. Because we actually then had to go in to actually pay because the lady never came back out.
Wow, really?
So, yeah. So, not a great experience, but we all just kind of laughed about it afterwards. And the food was also, it was okay, but it wasn't great. It was a okay burger with okay fries. It wasn't a, really good burger. It was a mid. For all intents and purposes. So, so that was Thursday. Then Friday, I show up again and get my stuff out. And I decide I'm going to run some of my equipment. And then General arrives and, starts going and gets this thing going. I did already tell the story about the broken air collar, though.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Yeah. So now you can pick back up on your part of the story.
So, I had the pleasure of working very long hours the days leading up to it, not by choice. So I actually ended up sleeping in later than I was supposed to, and got there later than I was originally planning, which is all fine, because once again, very casual in environment, all that good stuff. So I show up, there's, a couple guys milling around, park my truck up, start unloading, all that good stuff. Go get myself, like Angry said, go get myself reacquainted with our host. Very, very, very nice guy. He has a wonderful shop in his backyard. He's actually one of the guys. I think he's one of the guys working with. I don't know if I don't think there'd be anything wrong with saying that. He's one of the guys helping Jay build his cars for the Tweetsy. I don't think that reveals anything. But so he's got mills, lathes, all that sort of stuff. And he actually also scratch builds his own locomotives and all that sort of stuff. So he's got boilers, locomotives half assembled, raw parts, machine parts, everything, just bins and bins and bins of detail parts and all kinds of stuff.
The dude is building Australian and Tasmanian narrow gauge.
Yes.
Which was really freaking impressive.
2-foot gauge, narrow gauge, Australian stuff. It's really cool. He's got 2 Garretts. One Garrett that he's built already. I think that's complete. He had another one that was work in progress. He also had some tank locomotives that he was working on. He had a tank locomotive. He never actually ended up running a steam locomotive, by the way.
No, he didn't.
Which was kind of, odd. He did run his diesel around a little bit. He had a scratch-built Russian diesel that he actually scaled. I think he scaled it down a little bit because it's supposed to be originally 30-inch gauge or something like that. Yeah. But, so he gave me the nickel tour. We ended up talking shop for a little bit, and eventually got out, started talking with other people, ran trains a little bit. There was actually a surprising amount of people out there that had 7/8 equipment. Saw a guy with a ferry mead, saw a lot of people with sort of European-esque stuff. There was one guy out there with a, what was the mountain railroad?
Not Brecon.
The one in India. It's in India, right?
Oh yeah, Darjeeling.
Yeah, the Darjeeling. That's it. That's what I was. So there was a guy out there with a Darjeeling locomotive, and it was just really cool to see the different types of locomotives. A surprising amount of people who were actually modeling 7/8 scale. There was of course plenty of standing around and bullshitting once again. At some point during the day, Angry's air collar broke. You've already went on about.
Yep, and Steve and our host fixed it up for me graciously and did not ask for any payment or remuneration.
Not only did he fix it, he machined a whole new air collar out of brass stock while we were there, just because he could, which was incredibly impressive. That's just cool to me to say you can do that. I'm not great at storytelling, if you can't tell. I'm kind of rambling a little bit.
That's fine.
Trying to think if I've missed any details. So, I know Angry he was running his CNS set, passenger set, with his mogul when I came up. Eventually put that away. I unloaded all of my cars, which I ended up bringing a lot of cars, even though he said not to. Popped up my table, got everything unloaded, and I decided to go ahead. I ran my quarry hunslet first, which one of the guys out there had a couple of spare cars, a couple of cars he let me run behind it because I didn't have any 7/8 cars. So that was fun. Ran my 060 next, and my mogul finally. This is all over the course of several hours, with a lot of sort of downtime. Once again, just kind of talking and shooting the breeze. We did have a very nice steak dinner that night.
Yes.
On Saturday night.
Yes, we found a good steak spot.
Which was a very long drive from the hotel. We had to walk a whole 100 yards from the steak restaurant to the hotel we were staying at, which did make the decision to have a beer a little bit easier.
Yes.
Well, that was a very expensive steak dinner.
It was a good steak dinner, though. It was
a very
worth the price.
It was a very yes. It was expensive, but it was worth the price. So at the end of it, we all kind of gathered there together. Had our steak dinner. Still shooting the breeze. Stayed there about 2 hours, 2.5 hours.
Yeah.
Just eating and talking and having a good time.
Yeah.
And from there, the group. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'll say this. I'm very impressed with the group of people that we have been introduced to and become acquainted with through the live Steam world. Because very much it could have been another case of like a good old boys club of we like who we like and we have our own clique and we don't let outsiders in. This was completely the opposite. This was very much oh, hey, you're also in the live Steam. You're young. We want to foster this and, keep y'all interested and build the network of people. So very much hey, if you want help or assistance, they were all about it. The moment my engine broke, I had 4 people around it trying to look at what's going on. And then one kind of took the charge again. The guy with the machine shop, our host, was like, I got this. And everyone else was just very accommodating and very gracious. And now we have sort of a standing invite of, yeah, when are you coming down to my railroad and running in my backyard? So
yeah, we've been added to the mailing list, as it were.
Yeah. And
I think actually a couple of them actually made a comment to me echoing that, being like, yeah, it's good to see younger people getting into this because, us old timers can't keep running forever.
Yeah. So, yeah, I was just saying, and now there's even potentials of, because some of the people who were down there were from my area up near Pennsylvania. Some people were from further south. And so it's weird how the dynamic of people will drive 5 or 6 hours just to hang out at a dude's house for a couple of days just to run trains in their backyard and BS. But
there was a couple people all the way from up in New Jersey.
Yeah.
Further than you, yeah.
Yeah. But it was just again, they're well, yeah, whenever you're coming down, I'm going to have a Steam Up this time if you want to make it happen. And we were getting the inside scoop on when other Steam Up events that hadn't been publicly announced yet were going to happen. So again, it was just oh, that's cool. Didn't expect that, But it's nice to know that we're in a community of people who are very supportive and very welcoming. And that's just going to, again, build and foster a network of people of cool. So
I don't want to get on a high horse for a second, but I will say that I, at least myself and several other people when I was younger, did kind of get chased out of a museum by sort of the old guard attitude you're talking about. Because we were actually passionate and trying to do things at the museum, and it was one of those attitudes of, it's always been done this way, you kids don't know what you're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
It was very refreshing to have a community, find a community that's very much open to and willing to help and listen, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
But anyways, once we got our steak dinner, everyone kind of went their own separate ways. I think a couple people went ahead and headed on home. The rest of us all kind of mealed to the hotel or where we were staying. Next morning, you know, a couple more people headed out early. Angry and I. Oh, we forgot about the Zaxby's trip.
Oh, yes.
So, Angry and I have been talking about getting Zaxby's forever whenever he comes down here because he doesn't have it where he's at. So, while he was down here for lunch on Saturday, we went to Zaxby's. That's about it. And then the next morning, actually that was Saturday morning. Yeah.
Well, yeah, because basically, on Saturday, or basically on Friday, we're like, all right, we're kind of hungry. I didn't eat lunch on Thursday because I was just kind of hanging out with the dudes. We're like, we need to go find lunch. We're like, okay, well, you know, there's some McDonald's. Okay, there's Sheetz. And then we looked up. We were just like, fast food near me. And General saw Zaxby's. Was like, wait, we've been talking about a Zaxby's trip for years because I've not had the pleasure of having Zaxby's. And so I was like,
you didn't tell me how was your first experience with Zaxby's.
It was good. I enjoyed my tendies.
Yes. Tendies and toast. Texas toast. Buttered toast.
Buttered toast. And then, because the hotel breakfast was kind of disappointing, the next morning we went out to the other great chicken of the South. Bojangles. Bojangles.
Yes.
So...
had the proper Southern fast food tour.
Yes. And it actually turns out that I've eaten at that Bojangles before because I actually stopped there on my way back from Spencer, and I didn't realize it until I pulled into the parking lot. I'm like, oh, I've been here.
Small world, isn't it?
Yes. Also, I am leaving Dillsboro heading west, and I will be proceeding to Silva Interchange to drop off some cars. I see there is a passenger train in my way.
You mean?
Yes. Well, I can move it out of the way if you want.
Heading east, you mean?
Well, I'm currently heading east.
Okay. But I guess to kind of wrap up the story, after you left, Angry, I ended up going back over to the host's railroad, you know, and a couple people were still kind of milling around. No one actually ran any trains aside from the host just kind of using his little battery-powered diesel to pick up his cars that he'd already staged around. So everyone else kind of fell out, and then I ended up being the last one to leave. I ended up staying around and talking shop for a couple hours actually with our host, and you know, very interested in, because you know, if you've heard me ramble about it before, I'm very interested in trying to learn how to scratch build stuff. You know, one of my ultimate goals would be to scratch build a locomotive. So we were sitting there talking about design and machining ideas, you know, different methods for achieving, you know, effects and that sort of thing. And it was a good long conversation, and ended up peeling out about 12:30, 1 o'clock, and stopped at a diner that I've been meaning to try every time I come back and forth between where I'm at and where Angry's at. Because it's like every time I pass by it, I'm like, I need to stop in there one day. And I finally did, and it was okay.
Yeah.
It was kind of like classic, gruff, country waitress type diner vibes. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
But food was good, so yeah.
Passenger train was moved to the Y, so I hope you didn't need to use the Y.
I do not need the Y currently. Goddamn show.
That's pretty much all. That is my rambly story out of the way. Any critiques? Corrections?
You left out the
Take
chocolate
it.
cookies.
No, I didn't, because I didn't get any.
Well, you should have showed up sooner then.
Apparently, because I actually, so I asked, not long after I got there, I asked if there was any bottles of water, and they said, yeah, they're in the garage along with some snacks. Go get yourself a cookie. There's a couple of them in there as well. So I get in there. There's a Tupperware container sitting next to a bowl of snacks, and I'm like, oh, that must be where the cookies are. Open it, empty. Not a single cookie left.
Well, you should have showed up earlier. That's all I'm saying, my guy.
I guess so.
There were
I
some
guess
on
so.
Friday. I had some on Friday morning. You just happened to get there
Oh
too
no, I
late.
know, because one of the guys, Bruce, he actually said he what?
Switch.
Oh, but he actually told me leave him one because he wanted to go back and get one, and yeah, nothing, gone, vanished, reduced to crumbs. Were they at least good cookies?
They were delicious.
Glad you got one.
All right, I am entering Silva paperboard yard. I do have some cars. Garion, are you just switching stuff out? I'm assuming.
Yeah, I have everything switched out down.
Okay, I'm gonna drop off a couple of cars then for you from this interchange.
By the way,
Okay.
the sawmill has been fully serviced at this point. All the cars from L1 and L2 are down at the bottom of the hill in the sawmill being loaded, although it does look like I could technically go get L3 if I really, really felt like it.
Is that what you're gonna want? What you really, really want?
I'll tell you what I want, what I really, really want.
Bojangles?
Could take Jarl. Yes, I actually got taken out to lunch today.
Oh?
So, yeah, so occasionally at my work we'll have, vendors come in and that sort of thing.
Uh-huh.
And as, show of goodwill, hey, please buy my thing, they'll take you out to lunch. Which I guess is one of
That's
the perks.
nice.
So we went to a local restaurant called Star Pizza, not Pizza Star. There is a difference.
Oh, there's a difference. Okay.
And I had myself a really good steak and cheese, not Philly cheesesteak, steak and cheese sandwich.
Cheese.
Same basic concept. But I had that with like their breaded fries, which they call star fries, which are very good. And then they actually brought out some complimentary like little frosted donut things. They pinch off pieces of like the pizza dough, fry them up, and then sprinkle them in powdered sugar and cinnamon, and they're very good.
Wait, fries with powdered sugar and cinnamon?
No. They fry pizza dough. They take like the same dough they use for like their pizza dough,
Oh.
and then they deep fry it in powdered sugar and cinnamon.
I was going to ask him a lot of questions because I was about to be like, what?
No.
Also, Falco Talco, thank you for following over on Twitch. Mods today, yes, we are using a bunch. We are using Copper's Silva Interchange. We have the newly released Luna, Shay, and Climax mods. We have Bjorn's East Whittier yard extension. Oh, we're both thinking the same thing here, Garion.
Uh-oh. I was going to drop these pulpwood cars off over here.
Let me...
But they're ready to go up to back up.
I will take them back up, but these are now for you. Let me just leave these bad boys right here, and I'll get out of your way. Away!
AngryRagtimer, away!
Yes.
And I set number 3 on road mode to start heading back up towards Whittier. I have it stopped I think it's at the Silva station currently.
Alright. I'm gonna go get L3 cars, I guess.
Okay. Oh, you
This
did
may or
send
may not
the passenger train to do passenger things.
Yep.
In their very passenger way. I'm going to go back and get the caboose, and then I'll get out of the way because I'm going to drop these off in the interchange. These are just pulpwood cars for the paperboard thing. I can Word. Microsoft Word. And then once I drop these off, I'll come back and I'll grab these cars and then turn around.
Okay.
Actually, if I just shove my caboose back...
Could you not shove through the caboose?
Yeah, if I shove this caboose back and then you just drop off that string that you have onto that on the leg of the Y, because then that'll be my train to go back.
I can do that.
Yeah, let me just...
So you are bringing a train back then?
Yeah, I'll bring a train of empties back since we still have daylight in game.
All right.
So, General, the only question I have for you after our weekend of, quote-unquote, weekend of trains is very simple. When are you getting a 2-foot gauge engine? I'm sorry, 7/8. 7/8.
Technically, I already have one. You know that.
Oh, yeah, you technically do. When are you getting an American or less British?
I'm not gonna lie. I have been I have been seriously tempted by the ferry meat, but I don't have the cash.
Well, maybe you can work out a deal with Jay to...
I decoupled your caboose.
Thank you. Payment Planet.
I mean, I could. I mean, and I technically still have that 0% APR credit card. But that doesn't mean I want to put a bunch of... I don't want to rack up a bunch of charges on it.
Yeah.
Especially considering I still don't have a garden layout. Plus, I don't know if... Yet. I don't know... Would the ferry meat be able to run on your layout?
Maybe? Stand by.
I genuinely don't know.
What does the ferry mead say now? What does the ferry mead say now? What does the ferry mead say now?
This is dumb.
The ferry mead, according to AccuCraft Train's website, needs a minimum radius of 48 inches. It'll run on my layout, baby.
Wait. Look, I'm not saying I'm gonna buy a ferry mead, but
It's a cute engine to get started.
Bit of context too. I don't know if I've told you. The ferry mead is the first 2-foot gauge I ever got exposed to.
Oh?
Like, yeah,
this is lore time with General.
So, I was a kid browsing YouTube.
Wait, General was a kid? Dun,
believe
dun,
it or not.
duh.
Believe it or not, I was at one point smaller. But I was a kid browsing YouTube, and of course, being into trains, I was watching train videos and, seeing narrow gauge, because that was about the time my narrow gauge kick really started off. And I encountered a video of the ferry mead running at some kind of private railroad club. If I can find the video, I'll post it somewhere. But this was a video from, like, I guess it's close to 12 years ago, if not longer now. And I was just kind of encaptured by it, because it was this adorable little Baldwin locomotive puffing around, hauling a itty-bitty 2-axle carriage, or I guess it would be a carriage since it's Australian, British, whatever. But it was just pulling around this itty-bitty 2-axle coach, and it was such a pretty little locomotive, and I just fell in love with it. And from there on, I started doing research into it, found out it was 2-foot gauge, started finding out, how common 2-foot gauge is around the world, found more examples of Americanized 2-foot gauge Baldwins that have gone around the world, found out about the main 2-footers, actually, as a result of that. And, it's all kind of devolved from there. So, needless to say, if I could ever have one little locomotive to run in my backyard, it would probably be the Ferry Mead. It's just such an adorable little locomotive.
Yes. So, this is the official announcement of the General Needs a Ferry Mead Fund.
The General Ferry Mead Slush Fund.
Look, if there was at one point the AngryRagtimer Model Train Slush Fund, now it's time for General.
Look, if I somehow get a Ferry Mead, you could help me get a Ferry Mead.
You forget that I am being tempted by other things, and I'm buying Switches at the moment. Which,
Right.
speaking of, I
You could
ordered a
also-
4th Switch today because I realized that I ended up using... I originally got 3 Switches. My 3 Switches were for the escape track for the Steam Ups, and then the 2 switches on the top of the layout at the hill. And I ended up replacing my Yard Throat exit instead, just because I didn't want to have any derailments leaving track 1 going on to the main.
Yeah.
And that meant that I had... My final switch was for the left-hand turnout at the top of the hill, but I didn't have the right one. So now I've ordered one more right, and that should be here Thursday or Friday.
Okay.
So I just realized that I could go ahead and get that, and that would be
Never have
a
to worry about switches.
yeah. Because then the others, like the other 4, are not mission critical. They are. I would like to, and they will be replaced at some point, but they're not like a. I'm currently having issues string lining on curves problem.
Well, the 4 you're talking about replacing, though, too, have been consistent pinch points, and
Yeah.
they are in a bit more odd positions. Like, they're coming in or off of curves, that type of thing.
Yeah. So now that that's the case, my 4 biggest problem points are there. There still is an issue going from the track 2 switch to track 3, but I don't use that as often, so that's less of a concern at the moment. And, ladies and gentlemen, he's in the chat. It's Lord Fuzzy. He's watching from the distance. I don't know if he'll hop in the audio, but he is sending me awkward memes and GIFs in our own private chat, and now I feel threatened. But anyways, the other thing I did not tell you, General, is I sent an email to the dude with the K-27, and I was polite. I said, hey, thank you so much for getting back to me. Unfortunately, 5,000, which is what he wanted, is currently out of my price range. If something should change, I will let you know. Because he even said in his email, which I think is just hilarious, that the engine was bought for 5,000 originally. It's now worth 2.5, but he wants 5 for it.
Wait, he admitted it was worth less money than what he was trying to get out of it.
Let me bring up a screenshot of this because I think it's
Hold
worth
on.
reading.
I feel like I need to read this. So he even, by his own admission, said that it was worth less due to depreciation.
Correct. Let me I'm going to share my screen just for you.
Okay.
So take a look at that.
All right, give me 1 second. Let me make sure I don't plow into something. Maybe he meant he spent 2... What?
See, that's what I'm confused about. So the wording, for those wondering in the chat, is, I hate the thought of selling this beautiful piece of work that I spent $5,000 on this engine. Money now worth about $2,500 in 2002. I have run this engine for 24 years and it is in perfect working condition. I would really like to sell it to someone who would appreciate it as an irreplaceable museum piece quality work. After turning 80 and having a heart attack, I'm suffering medical bills I do not want to leave to my family, so I do need to sell some of my prized possessions, although as hurting as this is. I know that $5,000 would be a lot, but perhaps some dickering involved, including freight cars, would help. I would hate to ship, but as a last resort for a number of reasons would prefer a pickup. I hate to be stuck between a rock and a hard place, but this is what happens to all of us eventually. So.
Yeah, it sounds like he bought it for $2,500, but that would be the equivalent of $5,000 today.
Yeah,
how
that's-
I interpret that.
That's how I kind of interpreted that. He just did it in a very confusing way.
Yeah.
He said that in a very confusing way. It is. I mean, he did say price is negotiable.
But the problem is, I don't have a... There's multiple problems with this. The first problem is, I would have to go to pick it up from him, and as I understand it, he lives in the Boston area.
Boston.
And I do know people up in that area, but I don't want to be like a guy of like, hey, go pick this up for me, and then we'll deal with it later.
Oh, you mean like you did for me?
Maybe. And Loyal Expert, thank you for subscribing with Prime. Appreciate that.
Well, I mean, I'm just saying you do have some contact in the area, and like with me, it doesn't hurt to ask. That being said, there's still the matter of that's a lot of money.
Yeah. And also, our mutual friend and good buddy Jay is very much strongly hinting of like, just wait, and you'll get a brand new one with more detail that you can get in Cole. So, hooray, peer pressure. So, Fuzzy, you know how you were looking at your first locomotive? Have I got a contact for you?
Yeah.
Also, I'm going to
Also,
take
he's
these
being
two...
very quiet.
well, because Fuzzy's scheming. That's what Fuzzy always does. He watches from afar. He's always dreaming up some crazy scheme. He's like Eddie from Ed, Edd and Eddy. He's always trying to find a new way to get those jawbreakers.
Actually, you know what? That reminds me about something. Quick question for the class. Was anyone else kind of let down by jawbreakers?
Yes.
Like, they were
Yes.
elevated as, like, this mythical candy, and then you get them, and they're like, well, that's a thing. I enjoy them. But it's like, it's not worth the hype, I don't think.
Yes.
Personal opinion.
All depends on why you had it hyped.
Through Ed, Edd and Eddy.
Oh, you had never heard of Jawbreakers before that?
No, I had, but I was a kid. And I had heard of Jawbreakers. I'd never really got Jawbreakers. And it was like Ed, Edd and Eddy was like, oh, they're the greatest thing in the world. They're always scheming to make money to get a Jawbreaker, and you get and so it's like you would expect it to be something a bit more, I suppose.
Maybe it's because I had Jawbreakers before then.
As Lone Wolf says, the show makes them look so good, but they suck.
Yeah.
Which is multi-leveled because you have to suck on them in order to eat them.
Yes.
So. Oh, I just also realized in-game we have enough money to buy some more hopper cars and stuff because with the new
I
Silver...
thought we were saving for the next phase of Bryson.
Are we on tier 3?
To finish. No, we're on tier 2.
Oh. Oh, well...
Also, I have important information to pass along to you when you get back to Whittier.
Okay.
That I've learned.
This is
on my expedition.
definitely not... What? Oh, okay. Sorry, I didn't realize that was a hamster hiding behind a Coke bottle there, Fuzzy. All I saw was the gerbil enclosure that looked oddly like a penis.
What? What?
God damn it. You see what I mean, though, right? For those who are wondering, Fuzzy sent me a GIF, and I got distracted by some of the other details in there.
You saw what you wanted to see.
I saw things I did not want to see, thank you very much. It's just that my brain is wired in a way that makes me a terrible person.
Predisposed.
Here, General. I'll share.
Hold on, let me take a look at this. Oh. Now that he says that, yeah.
Yeah. Also, Solaris,
just
hello,
purple
good to have you here. What was the thing? Guess we got 3 more months of the doctor and got a medicine drop to prevent blood clots. I'm hoping that's good news. Or at least a positive step for you that they're adjusting your medicine to help you. So hopefully that's good. But yeah.
Probably a little late to ask this question, but did you grab the locomotives that are going to be getting scrapped?
Yes, sir, I did.
Okay.
I figured it was about time they left.
I'll be right back.
I just happened to think about it like, oh, he probably should have grabbed them on the way. I don't know if he did.
Yes. Contrary to popular belief, I can be smart on occasion.
And I threw the tank engine in the shed down here.
Perfect. So, yeah, my plan is we'll run this to back to Whittier, and probably by the time we get there, we'll end the stream, just because we've already been streaming almost 3 hours. It's strange to feel like I'm back streaming, and I do apologize that it's like very inconsistent right now. It's just with, again, real life stuff going on. I've had priorities that I need to take care of, so. Like seeing General in real life, and how I'll be seeing Fuzzy in real life in a week, and practicing for my rock band I'm in.
You can't see Fuzzy. It's Fuzzy.
That's right. I need to get some corrective lenses. Actually, thank you for reminding me.
Oh no! Oh. Okay, we're good. What'd I miss? Don't worry about that. I was the train going faster. I left it unattended.
Hey, General, I thought you said the sawmill was good.
Yeah, it was, but then L3 came done, so I decided to go ahead and surface it.
Well, I was being smart-ass because there's a interchange car on the sawmill.
Oh, well, it wasn't there before.
It is there now, old boy.
Yep, that one just ticked over because it was not there when I left.
It ticked over, but did it tick you off?
It's ticking me off.
Yeah.
And General, are you on your way down that mountain yet? Because the passenger train
Correct.
is coming.
Yes, I am on the way down the mountain. I can hold for the passenger train.
Okay.
Can I hold your passenger train?
Why is this now? I mean, yes, maybe? I don't know.
Okay, got weird. All right, cool.
Yeah, long and lubricated.
The passenger train's just about to enter the yard in Whittier, just so you have an idea where it's at.
Yes.
Cool. Speaking of lubrication, where's the oil point on this thing?
For those who are asking, I do not know when the MOW update's coming out for Railroader. I know that when it does, we'll definitely be doing a new series on it, but I do not have any ins to know when that'll be happening, why that'll be happening, all the stuff. So hopefully we'll know more in the future, but for right now, I do not know anything.
Oh yeah, I've had an epiphany. Okay.
An epitaph?
Yeah. Yes. I was wanting something sweet, right?
Hmm.
And then I remembered, oh wait, I have pound cake in my freezer from the sweet lady that lives next door to my parents. And then I said, oh wait, I have ice cream also in my freezer. So I can go heat up a slice of pound cake and then put a slice or a scoop of ice cream on top of it.
Ooh.
This'll be great.
I went to the place this. I went to the restaurant that Fuzzy I took you to for really good burgers.
Oh, same.
Oh, that
Harsh
place is
burgers.
great.
Yes.
They messed me up with ice cream and burgers.
I had that today. It was great.
Ice cream hamburgers? What?
Yes. It is a hot hamburger with 2 scoops of ice cream on top. It melts all over the place. No.
Oh my gosh.
No, it was a hamburger and a milkshake. Actually, no,
Oh.
you got like a giant ice cream
That
cake
sound-
or something when you were there, Fuzzy.
I gotta.
Yeah. I felt like I was dying by the end of it, but it was totally worth.
Think when you took me there, I got like a concrete or something, didn't I? Because I got a burger and a shake.
Yep.
Where are you at, by the way, Angry?
I am currently on my way
you're-
through Barker's Creek.
All right. Well, I'm gonna hold up here on the mountain just for a minute to let the passenger train go by. And
Passenger train is past the Y.
but why? But either way, I'm gonna hold up here for just a minute while I go fix my pound cake. I'll be right back.
Guys, General's gonna go get pounded.
You know what? Maybe I should add insult to injury in this. I have cheesecake.
I'm sorry,
I'm gonna
what?
go get it. I think I'm gonna go get some. Not only that, it's homemade blueberry cheesecake
Holy
with like
crap.
cookie crumb, whatever crust. Yeah, that. My
Damn.
brain fogged out because I was thinking about how good it's gonna taste.
You have a brain?
I did today. It's now been spent. We're now at negative brain capacity. This is after hours Fuzzy.
Fuzzy After Dark, if you will.
No, that's a different one.
Oh. Okay, then.
That one has paid services.
Well, I'm sorry, what? Enlighten me on the
Yeah, it's,
paid services that I might be able to procure from you.
nah, I'm gonna go get cheesecake. I'll be back.
Oh, well. What?
So while they're both gone, once you get to Whittier, I think that's where you're heading. We
Yes.
should fast forward time and then start the next segment of the bridge before we end.
That's true.
That way, next time we don't have to worry about it.
That is a very good point.
And if we can go grab it and bring it to the bridge site, we can have it there ready so that next time we just gotta sleep and it should be done or almost done when we start the next day.
Yes.
We could also cheat to get the bridge cars there if we wanted to.
We could. Will we cheat? Will we not cheat? The audience might not know.
The 2 cars over here at the bridge site are at 18% left.
Okay. I have just passed through Barker's Creek. I should be to Whittier here in a few minutes.
And I think the passenger train just left Whittier on its way to Ella.
Cool.
I I assume once it gets there, we'll send it back to Whittier to sit until we're ready to do passengers again.
Yep. Sounds like a good plan.
Cheesecake.
So how good is that cheesecake, Fuzzy?
Oh, it's so good. So good. Oh, it's so good!
Guys, I think it's really good.
Alright, I'm back. Turns out I did not have vanilla ice cream. Instead, I have Moose Tracks.
How good is it?
I will tell you in approximately 5 seconds. Very, that's very good.
Excellent.
It is very, very good.
Yes.
By the way, Angry, where are you heading with that load?
I'm going to take it to Whittier. And I'll
Okay.
drop it off there, and that's where we'll end the stream. So have your
far
funny
out are you?
comments and other things. You need to speak now or forever hold your peace. Of cheese.
Lettuce?
Lettuce, pray?
Cabbage.
No. All right, this I'm digging this heavy Mikado. It is a beefy boy that is able to haul. Granted, I have a complete train of empties right now, so
And you're going downhill?
yes.
Yo, you gotta give some love to Big Mikados. Big Mike's getting it done.
Yes.
I'm just taking it nice and slow down the mountain because I'm trying to eat my ice cream and cake and enjoy it.
Okay. I am through Thomas Valley.
Wonderful.
Cabbage.
Yes, ice cream. Man, I have not had ice cream in a hot minute.
If it was a hot minute, it would probably be melted.
Well, actually, so I warmed up the cake. So the cake is actually warm while the ice cream is cold, and the cake is helping melt some of the ice cream, so it's seeping into the cake.
That does
Hey,
sound
Angry,
good.
Which track are you heading for?
That's a darn good question. I guess I should figure that out since I'm rapidly approaching. I guess I will head down the third one in. I've just lined my switches for it.
Like third from the
main line.
or
So like
third?
main
Okay.
and then 1, 2. I'm on 2.
Okay. So I'm dropping an interchange bar off there from the sawmill.
Got it.
I wanted to make sure I wasn't going to accidentally put it on the track that you're heading to.
Guess I should start slowing down. Yes. Okay. So here we go, coming in.
He's coming into the yard, so you better get the party started.
Alrighty. Alrighty, so here we are, end of the day. So we have our steam engine delivering the trains. We've run a few bits of logging. We have the switcher doing the switching things, and we have a logging train coming down the mountain. I'm sorry, why did you... What? Why is the Jarl being used for logging?
So that bit of information I told you I had for you,
Oh.
the Jarl will in fact service L3.
That's fun.
It can in fact make it up the mountain and fit into the siding.
Yes.
Oh, hey there, Sparky. Where are you going there? Hi.
Well, while they get them
Hungarian.
sorted out here, we're going to end the stream for the night. Thank you for tuning in. If you're new to the channel, please do like the stream. Just hitting the thumbs up button on YouTube sincerely helps with the YouTube algorithm. Like the streams, drop a comment, let us know your favorite part. We'll hopefully try to get one more stream in this week. We'll see how the week goes for us. But otherwise, thanks for watching. We'll see you in a few days or a week or something. I don't know when these are all going to be. Bye-bye.
You're in. Where are
Yeah.
you going?
This
where are you
track
going?
that I'm on.
State your intentions.